It was the same today. Like we played that entire first half basically with 10 men because one of our players didn't turn up, and we scored 6 goals because it's Noah.
Mm-hmm. Are you referring to Nkunku?
Yes, I'm referring to Nkunku. He was terrible today. Like, genuinely terrible.
Let's get into the, I guess, individual players, and we can start with Nkunku, because that was one thing that, while I was watching, listen, this game, I'm sure you guys can agree, it was up for grabs for anyone to score a goal. Like, if you had an opportunity, take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could have scored. We could have and should have scored 15 goals in this game.
We slowed.
I'm being serious.
I know you're being serious.
If you go through all the chances, João Felix could have had 5. Nkunku could have had about 4. Mudryk could have had a couple.
Yeah.
Who else? George could have had a couple. That dude off the bench, the youth player, could have had one. Ratsaki, Carney could have had one as well. Like, bro, we could have scored 15 goals today, and it wouldn't have mattered us.
I'm convinced if we put Jurgensen up strike, he maybe got a goal today. Like, their defense was just.
That defense was horrible. But that goes to speak volumes now, right? Because, like, it's none of our players scores. Okay, but it's also I'm not.
The only reason he scores that, by the way, is because of the goalkeeper and defender being shit.
Exactly.
If we're playing a proper team, he doesn't score that.
Not at all. Like, that's the thing. Like, I expected Nkunku to treat this like Barrow. You can get a hat trick. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people are gonna probably take what I'm saying and be like, "Dude, this guy's not happy we won." Like, yeah, I'm happy we won, but look who it's against. Like, it's not a good side. So I'm actually disappointed that we didn't do better. Because, for example, Nkunku, a guy that came into this team last season, we were saying, "Oh, he's our savior. When Nkunku comes back, the team's gonna mesh. It's gonna go well." And this season, this guy can't even crack into the first team. He has a shit performance against Newcastle, and then today, like against Noah, all right, cool. You barely got your first goal, and then your second goal was a penalty, which I'm not going to disrespect, but was it even a penalty? You know what I'm saying? But it's like you're being given these goals.
I think
I didn't think it was a pen either.
I can explain why.
He kicked him. Hall kicked their player and we got given a pen.
Yeah,
it looked that way to me until I saw the other side, and he kicked his ankle as well. Like, it looked like he maybe kicked his ankle first. Dewsbury Hall,
yeah.
That's why.
But like, you know, this game to me just, I don't know. Like, would you guys say that we played Nkunku more as a 10 today?
Yes, the first half he played as a 10 was garbage.
So again, like the fact that he was so invisible, like João Felix was the one. Like, I thought João Felix was a 10 today.
Felix. I'll be so honest. This is where like it's Noah.
Yeah.
Like Felix to me today was like he was good, like he was decent, but like that's not a performance I think anyone should write home about. That João Felix performance was like okay. Like he hit the 2 goals actually. The 2 goals he scores, he takes really well.
Yeah.
But it's like outside of that, it was just the same thing he was doing against Newcastle. It was dribble, shoot. That's all he was doing. But we're playing Noah, so it's like he's going to score those goals because we're playing farmers. We're playing people that are going to work in Burger King tomorrow.
I mean, we only had to play one midfielder today as well.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it doesn't matter. And that's the thing. It's like,
oh yeah, Jesus.
What? Yeah, like it does, and that's the thing. It's like and I don't take anything from this game. I'm just happy we scored 8. Like, big up to the guys. Yeah. Like, big up to everyone that played.
It's like definitely the score we needed to get, you know, because if we don't get a good score this game, you got to kind of, you know, you need something to go into Arsenal with a little bit of chest, is what I'm trying to say. And I think in terms of like the overall picture, I think this performance is good for that B team to be like, okay, we're not shit. We can put away a side like we're supposed to. Let's go up against Arsenal and let's really like challenge ourselves, kind of thing. Like that's one of the positives I could take out of this. But like I said, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Sorry, you finish.
No, I was just gonna add, like, you know, the other thing being that it's Nkunku, for the quality of player that you are against the quality of side that you're up against. You need to have ran that show. especially if you were the one that's our savior last season. You were the one that came into this team. We had high expectations for you. Even before Cole Palmer, we thought he was the best player in our team, and he's just not performing up to it. I'm not impressed. I mean, good for him. You got your 2 goals today, but like outside of that, like, come on, you're not showing me. Nkunku's not showing me anything that merits him.
I'm not gonna. It's not gonna take too long.
And Nkunku's the one that's in this team that I'm like, you're not convincing me that you should be playing over Nicholas Jackson or Cole Palmer.
I just wanted to say before I know Prime wants to go. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask you a quick question. No, it's actually a quick question.
Quick question in Prime. Yeah.
So my question is only it's one simple question, Prime. After this, you can speak. I'm not gonna ask. I'll let you go everything, like, and then I'll take my piece. But I would ask the question in regards to Nkunku too. Is that once the 4 goals and there was 4 goals happening, it was 20 minutes in. Do you at what point are we asking him to control the game after that? I feel like there's like at that point the game's pretty much done. No.
I agree.
Prime, your thoughts?
Wow, you waffled for 30 seconds. Okay.
Bro, just answer the question.
I didn't hear what question Ahmed asked. Doesn't matter.
All right, I'm going to reiterate it. After the 4 goals, he's basically saying, what are you expecting Nkunku to do after 4 goals being scored? Which I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, everyone else on that pitch didn't drop down when 4 goals were scored. They kept going. But go ahead, Prime.
I don't really care about Nkunku. I don't really rate him, man. I think he'll be sold soon. We can't find a position for him.
Bloody hell.
Well, anyway, tell me about what you thought about his performance today, because that's the topic we're on right now.
I don't think he was that good today.
Is that alarming to you, considering the expectation that he was at?
I don't have high expectations of him, and hopefully people can start to realize he has not been that good this season. He's been scoring goals, which is great, but against these lesser sides he's been playing against, he hasn't shown that he's truly the class that he's supposed to be. People have been saying to start over Jackson, and Nkunku hasn't shown any other attributes to show that he's better to play over Jackson. He hasn't shown anything. I mean, aside from the goal scoring, even Nkunku's goal scoring.
But even the goal scoring, Prime, even the goal scoring. Nkunku, like Vic, you're saying this right now, right? Why are you dunking on Nkunku? He scored 10. Yeah, I got you, Scott. I can tell you half of these already. Why are you dunking on Nkunku? He scored 10 goals this season. Half of those goals come from Barrow and this game.
It's fine because that's the games that he's had starts in. But even his goal scoring in those games have not looked that good. Nkunku missed some sitters today that if Jackson missed them, we'd be saying that he's shit.
Of course.
Nkunku missed them and no one wants to speak on it.
Yeah, but at the same time,
when we sell him, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but I feel like we're being a bit unfair to Nkunku in the sense that he's not really getting any regular starts in actual games.
No.
It's not. No.
After the performance he had today, why would he get it?
But listen, the reality, I feel like for me, and I think this argument that I would make is that I'm not really sure what I'm expecting from Nkunku after 4. It's 4-0, brothers, guys. Like I'm not expecting him to go on a stat pad match. And
that didn't stop him from scoring 2 goals in the second half.
Yeah, but the reason why
what are we on about?
I think you're right. I'm not talking about. For me, I don't care about talking about.
I know. I understand your point, Prime, but because I'm also talking about what's it called, Marshall's point in the sense that I'm expecting more from him. He should be having a high performance for the whole 90 minutes. It's like no, he shouldn't really have a performance.
No, yes, he should. Yes, he should. Hang on, Ahmed. Okay, Ahmed. Answer me this then. 2 things. Number 1, he should because it's Noah. Second, why can every other attacker on the pitch do it?
I think for me the reason why I would say okay, let me just second point is that if you look at the rest of the attackers, Tariq George, this is probably the only game is probably going to be starting, for us, barring maybe any other Conference League games you have. Mark Gui, again, probably the only fixture is going to probably be starting unless it's an FA Cup competition now, right? Then who's the other one that was playing? João Felix. He's trying to get himself minutes into the Premier League, guaranteed Premier League.
Is Nkunku not doing that?
And Nkunku, in my opinion, barring the game that he didn't play against United, he's already got guaranteed minutes. He's gonna always come off the bench for us.
Really come off the bench when we needed a goal last match.
Ahmed, my thing is this, right? Mm-hmm. And again, like my thing on Nkunku is like, I don't know why people are trying to talk about him for this game. It's not about this game. I think for today, like, I don't think there was any standout players per se, but all of our players played to the level of we are a top Premier League side and we just played a Noah side that are not like, I don't know, they're barely like League 2, League 1. I expect us to put 8 past them. I'd expect City to put 8. I'd expect Arsenal, Man United. I expect the top 6 teams to put 8 past Noah. So
yeah,
we're doing what's supposed to be doing. So credit to our players. But with Nkunku throughout this season, he's meant to be the talisman that we bought last year summer. He was out injured for so long. People were saying that, oh, if Poch had him fit, he would have got us top 4. Now this season, he's not in our main 11. People keep telling me drop Jackson, playing Nkunku over him. But Nkunku hasn't shown in these lesser games that
I would argue. Yeah, I've always maintained you should not be playing him over Jackson because I don't see him as a striker. If you're gonna do anything,
the argument isn't playing over Jack. The argument is people are saying he should be in the main team. He hasn't.
Argue would be that he plays in the 10. That's it. If you're gonna start in the main team,
he played in the 10.
But he hasn't.
The main team.
Mudryk has shown more that he should be starting in the team over Nkunku.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true.
Ultimately,
that after Man United, I would disagree with that heavily. After Man United,
he did
more. Man United, he came on and was decent.
Yeah. He actually tried to create chances. He was causing trouble.
He was consistently
dribbling. He was doing more than Nani Madueke that game, bro.
And losing the ball. And I agree with you, Madueke was shit. And I would agree with you that Madueke was shit in that game. But like the point I'm trying to make
against Man United,
Mudryk was no better. Mudryk was
okay.
no better.
Ahmed, you're right. Against Man United, Mudryk didn't do much, but that doesn't erase the 5, 6, 7 games he's been performing in. It doesn't erase.
Okay, so like let's be honest, boys. But let's be honest. But before you
Ahmed, ultimately.
Yeah.
When it comes to Mudryk, the ultimate point is, when did he come on in that game? Was it half time against?
Not even
United?
10, it was like 15 minutes into the game.
10 minutes. Cool. So he's given 35 minutes in that game based on performances that he's had previously. All I see people talk about Nkunku is why isn't he playing more? Why isn't he playing more? Then he gets the chance to perform and do something, and he does nothing. Stat pads. My point with this whole Nkunku thing is, because I'm kind of with Prime, like at this point I don't really expect anything from him. He's just kind of a nothing player at this point. Like,
it sucks.
My whole point with him is, if you have an issue, like if you have an issue with the minutes he's getting in the Premier League, then you need to have an issue with him as a player not performing in games like this. If you don't have an issue with him not performing in games like this, then don't have an issue with the minutes he's getting in the Premier League, because they're reflective of how he is as a player.
Regardless, by the way, regardless of this game today, he gets no minutes anyway, and he's been scoring any game he starts before.
I'm listening.
And the thing is, Ahmed, I've made the argument of that in certain games, I would like to see Palmer on the right and Nkunku play in the 10 behind that. Yeah. I think that would be interesting to see because it gives Palmer more freedom instead of being isolated centrally, and Nkunku can do what Palmer does in terms of like box crashing essentially and getting goals that way. However, Nkunku hasn't earned, regardless of whether he's playing up top or in the 10 or on the left or on the right, Nkunku hasn't earned a start regardless in the team.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He's meant to be one of our world-class players. He's meant to be, whether it's playing as a 10 or off the left or on the right or as a striker, he's meant to be our world-class. He's meant to be what Palmer is supposed to be right now.
Yep.
And he's not.
I think he's meant to be a top player. I'm not sure if it's like world class because I think when you brought up Abdullah, I wouldn't say it was world class.
Regardless,
in my honest opinion,
at Chelsea.
But I think my issue is, when we're playing him left wing, you're then playing him right wing. Which is the vast majority of the games that he's come off the bench he's played in. I don't think that's fair. On him to be criticized for this performance when he's consistently being played out of position, barring like the Bournemouth game. If you want to make the argument of course they play striker, again, the other times he's played on left wing, and we know that he can't work on the left wing, in my personal opinion, in the Morrissey system, and on the right wing. But listen, I think at the end of the day, I don't really think he's got to add anything that much to us, considering how well we are doing right now. Maybe barring, I would say, a Madueke who's been really poor in the last few games. Right, we probably need another winger. I don't really necessarily think it's an issue as of now for Nkunku to be starting consistently. So I don't think that's what I would say to you guys.
I don't hear the out of position thing.
This out of position thing is
maybe out of position. You know what?
It's Noah.
Maybe out of position
against Man City.
I'm not talking about Noah. We're not talking about Noah.
No. I'm just pointing this out. Against Man City, You look at that game against Man City and Nkunku playing on the left wing, he actually looks good. It's just on that day the system wasn't ready, our players weren't up to scuff, and whatever. Like, I actually liked Nkunku on the left. He wasn't that bad as people like to claim he was. Today versus that game, it's just, dude, I feel like he had more of an impact against Man City than he did against Noah. That's the problem here. The fact that Prime is sick.
But I'm not judging him off this game. I'm judging him off all season.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, though, right? He just came from him and Felix. Just the previous game, just had a howler performance against Newcastle, where they were not good enough to score and got us eliminated from the Carabao Cup. This was the game where you guys need to step up, and I wouldn't say Felix to his extent did step up. This is the game where Nkunku, who is supposedly at the time, people stating world-class player in our team, that needs to step up and really boss that game. Even Enzo Fernandez had a decent game, and he was,
this position thing.
We are doing too much in bossing the game. In my part, he needs to boss the game. I think
because Ahmed, you say that, Ahmed, but I know for a damn fact, Ahmed, that if this was Cucurella or Raheem Sterling, you would crash it on them. So I'm just keeping the same energy.
I agree on Ahmed. Boss the game is subjective. Ahmed, I agree on you. Boss the game is subjective. However, I expect you're meant to be one of our best players.
I expect you to be scoring, and he's scoring. That's the thing, though, right?
Yeah, no,
but guys,
look at the goals he scored today. Were they quality goals?
Oh my!
Are we doing this Mason Mount argument? GA?
I mean, the composure was good from Nkunku's first goal.
Can't do that, bro. You seriously can't do how he scored. He scored a pretty good.
We did it for Mason Mount. How are we not doing it for this guy?
Ahmed, I agree with you.
No, we did it for Jackson.
Then we did it for Jackson.
And I always say it was unfair for Jackson. So this argument doesn't work for me. That's why.
This whole position thing bullshit as well.
Ahmed, I agree with you that he is scoring. Yes. But outside of that, what else does he really do?
That's fact. See, then we can act. I think that's a fair argument to have, yes.
And again, this is a hot take. I don't know if people will agree with me. But today, both Nkunku and Felix, in terms of performance, I don't think it was much different from what we saw last week.
I agree with you.
The only difference was against Newcastle, they defended well, so we didn't score any goals. Today, Noah's Noah, and we were able to score 5 out between the two of them. There's no difference in performance.
I just want to go back to the position thing, because this thing pisses me off all the time, this bullshit. Because the way people speak about Nkunku playing as a striker, it's like we've asked a goalkeeper to play striker.
Yeah,
like people talk like he's got no ability to do this. Like when we were all hearing last season about Jackson's not a striker, he's a winger. He was playing winger, but he was doing better playing striker when he apparently isn't a striker than Nkunku is doing now.
Also,
and Nkunku's played striker. And why are we not talking about? Oh, hang on, why is no one talking about the fact that Palmer, who's world class by the way, the same as Nkunku's meant to be, is able to be world class in 2 separate positions?
Also. The way
Prime, one other thing, by the way. Sorry, Prime. One other thing. If he's doing nothing but scoring goals, isn't that what a striker's meant to do? So he is a striker. If he's doing nothing but scoring goals, he's doing what a striker's meant to do.
He even said himself he likes playing as a striker.
He does also,
I always maintain that he's a shadow. I maintain that he's a second striker. That's what I've said. That's why my 10.
He's just a box crasher. So he's a shadow striker. So he's a Kai Havertz. He's a positionless nobody.
What's a second striker?
What did you say?
Ahmed, you said he's a second striker. What is a second striker? Compare him to other players. What's the comparison you'd make? Past or present? What is the comparison you'd make?
He's a Havertz.
I don't think he's Havertz because he's definitely a lot more better than him on the ball. I would say.
Okay,
and a better dribbler. That's a good question.
Martin is normally.
I've never actually thought about it like that, bro. I've never really.
Yeah, you just say these things. You don't think about.
No. As in, like, no.
I get what Ahmed means, but I said this when we bought Nkunku. The guy's not a 10. He's not a striker. He cannot play on the flanks. What is he? I said this when we bought him in 2020. He's not a 10. He's not a striker. He cannot play on the flanks. What is he? I think Nkunku is a false 9. Hold on.
You know he is. I've got to play it for you. I've got to play it for you right now. You know, I think he's very similar to the way Dybala plays for Aroma in this. And what
Yeah,
I
kind of agree.
disagree.
No,
Massively.
what I mean by that is when it was Tammy Abraham and him, it used to be this
He's a
thing of
false
like
nine.
Tammy Abraham essentially used to be the one that could come in
Target man,
and
yeah. I get what you mean.
and then yes,
I kind of get what you mean. I get that point.
yes,
And I do agree. My thing with Nkunku is, like,
Mhm.
I view him as a false nine. I viewed Havertz as a false nine. I know they're completely different spectrum of players. I believe Nkunku is back,
I get what you mean.
but they're false nines. The
Mhm.
thing is, the way Maresca is having Jackson play, he's not playing as a pure striker. He's dropping in deep. He's linking play like a false nine is supposed to do. Why can't Nkunku do that?
I actually don't think, my take is Nkunku doesn't have the physicality to do the drop deep thing. Like I don't know if you've noticed.
He
I
needs
think,
to have physicality to drop.
Yeah.
no. As in, like, to be able to hold up play. You know, like how sometimes Jackson will get the ball from deep. He'll be able to hold it a little bit before he flicks it off to that.
Jackson doesn't hold up the ball though.
No, he holds off the defender. I mean, holds off the defender whilst he's doing that. I don't think that Nkunku can necessarily do that to that level that Jackson
Ball
does
in
it.
the chat.
In my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, I think right now, at the end of the day, I don't think whether or not Nkunku starts is even necessary, because I still think Jackson's still doing well. Palmer's still doing well. Barn maybe can make the argument that in the big games he's not been performing as well, right? On the wings, Neto's been doing really well. I think the argument really is, who do you start now on the wing? Like, Sancho's still injured. Do you drop Madueke? I don't think it looks like that Maresca's plan to drop Madueke, at least against Arsenal, from what it looks like. That's why
I made an argument on Lewis's channel that, like, the way Maresca has Sancho play on the wing is quite different to what he expects from Madueke and Neto. And even Mudryk, they're all players that can beat their man, whereas Sancho doesn't really do that. He needs a player like what you've seen Kukurea do. He needs a player to come close to him to bounce the ball off.
Exactly. Yes.
I think if you do that on the other wing, you play Palmer out there, and then you play Nkunku in the 10. I think that could actually work. So have Palmer.
That's what I've expected, bro. I'll be honest, in the big games.
Overlap him, so he's allowed to kind of cut inside a bit.
I expected that for the big games, to be honest, bro. Because Madueke was not performing. Yeah, because Madueke
and Jackson link up, and they link up quite well.
I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, though.
And I think the problem, do you know what it is? Before you go, Marshall,
like positionally, like rigid. He's not allowing kind of fluidity in his lineups.
I don't know if you've noticed these two guys. I don't know if you've noticed these two guys. Yeah, I don't know if it's just been me. I think barring the Newcastle game, the last two games, both Forest and both United, I've not noticed Jackson do what he usually does, which is when he comes in deep here to help build up the play and stuff. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that, particularly against United. Yeah, in the last game, I didn't notice him do that as much. It was almost like they were making him, like Maresca made him just be like a stay-at-home striker for fun. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that too. I don't know if that's like a new.
Barely got involved in that game. Yeah.
If you look at the last two goals he scored, or at least the goal against Liverpool, he's been more of a running behind striker. That's
what I'm saying. Yes, exactly. That's what I've been saying.
Which I think it's going to vary depending on the game and the opposition. But no, I have noticed that. But there are some games where he does link up, like, we saw the Liverpool.
That's what
game
I'm
where
saying.
He linked
So
up,
like,
not Liverpool. I'm sorry.
Newcastle.
West Ham,
I know what you mean.
and then there's other games like West Ham as well. But like going back to the Nkunku thing, I listen right now as things stand. Because we were talking about, it'd be interesting to see, and we had this discussion before, big up to a video that we put out earlier, about Cole Palmer on the right wing and Nkunku in the 10. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. As of right now, João Felix gets in the number 10 position over Nkunku right now. And I love Nkunku. I really want Nkunku to play, but Nkunku's not shown me anything lately outside of just like, okay, you scored a goal. He scored 5 goals, 3 of them against Borough, 2 of them today. The other 5 goals, penalty, and but like, if people are gonna bring up, he scored 10 goals.
No. I'm not even gonna try to bring up 10.
His 10 goals, by the way, he scored against Servette twice. He scored against Servette.
Yeah.
He scored against Noah, Barrow, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Who else? He also scored Panathinaikos and Ghent.
Bigger
Yeah,
man than
he
first man.
scored in every game, except for lot.
You know what?
Bournemouth is
You
the
know what,
only
Marcel?
Premier League.
Wait,
Wait,
no,
let
yeah,
Chris
but-
talk. Let Chris
but
talk.
In the Premier League, he's barely played any minutes. Like most of it's like
He's
7,
had
5,
cameos.
10. No. Okay, the first game against Man City, he had like 60 minutes. Right, that's his biggest minutes game. This season, he's only played 150 minutes all season in the Premier League. He's barely had minutes to really do it. I'm not saying either just start him, by the way. I'm not even trying to advocate for him to start over Jackson, Cole Palmer, or anything like that because he doesn't deserve to start over him. But I just think we're just a bit over.
Can I ask you a question, guys? Like, I think this is
cuckoo.
You know, I'll ask this question to the panel because I think it's a good question to have. Because I think this obviously goes into the Arsenal game that's coming up on Sunday, right? Like, I think all of us here are probably in agreement that Madueke needs to get dropped. Like, all of us are in agreement, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like his performances wise, he needs to get dropped. I think the question then becomes in, right? If you're gonna drop Madueke, someone else has to come into that position, right? And I don't know about you. I'm saying Neto obviously is gonna. I think Neto probably shifts on that side. I just don't think. I'll be honest, boys. I just don't think it's Mudryk for me personally, right? And then the question then becomes.
On form, it's Mudryk.
I don't know. I'm sorry, bro.
It
Like,
is.
I think,
On form, it's Mudryk.
On form, it's
the thing
Mudryk.
is, listen, on form it might be a Mudryk, but like from the performance I saw from Man United, for me, I don't see that. You know,
But you okay? Hold on. Let
That's
me
cool.
stop you right there. Let me stop you right
You see
there.
what I
Hold
mean?
on,
You see what I mean?
because okay, let me ask you something, Ahmed. Why do you think it is that João Felix and Nkunku didn't come on against Man United?
I understood why I didn't come on United. I agree. I understood that.
What's the answer? So the audience can know.
Because obviously Nkunku and what's it called, Felix had poor games. I agree. I know what you.
So
I know
it's
that.
like to a certain extent, it's trust, right?
But right.
Am I wrong?
I get what you mean.
Okay, so when you see the manager relying on Mudryk over Nkunku and Felix in a United game where he needs to get a result to get him something, that says a lot to me that Maresca trusts Mudryk and what he's been doing more than Nkunku and João
But
Felix.
he's also the only one we currently have.
I don't know.
As well, like out and out, he's the only out and out one we also have too.
Yes, I
And he
get
has
that.
pace.
Yeah, but he
So,
could-
like,
he could-
that's
he could-
what
he
I
could-
think it
there
is.
needs to be.
He could have brought Nkunku on up front and he didn't.
No. So that's I agree with that point. So I'm separating them both. But the argument I would make is then if you look at his performance at Man United, it wasn't great in my personal opinion. Maybe you guys are a bit more fluctuating in terms of your performance level. I just don't think yet, and I think this is my issue a little bit of Maresca. We can't be bringing in form against Noah and then bringing that to form against Arsenal. Does that
It's
make
not
sense?
just form
Like,
against Noah.
No, but listen, even if I don't say form against Noah, who did we face the previous week after that? If I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
Newcastle, who was your best performer?
Okay, let's counter that. You're saying because of the 35 minutes that he had against Man United, that Mudryk shouldn't start against Arsenal. Cool. Okay, what game should we base on the fact that Nkunku should start? What game that he's played?
I'm not even saying. I just
Yeah.
think it's for me. I wouldn't even say it's about form. I just think for me it's just about the piece that will make the best fit for me. That's
Based on what? Based on what?
So okay, based on the quality that I believe they can provide for the team.
That he has shown when?
What are
Well,
He's
how-
got you there. That's what I mean. It has to be on form. It has to be on merit.
Against
what
Bournemouth.
argument?
That
Ahmed,
was how long ago?
I could tell you that, bro, if
it's
you'd
hard
never
to-
seen someone play, I could tell you that there was a player that's the best player in the world, and just tell you he's the best player in the world. He might never perform to the best player in the world, but I could just tell you because I believe it in my mind. That's what you're saying to me. I believe in my mind that Nkunku's world class. Like, where?
And we're having
Show me
honest
evidence.
conversations about Nkunku. I love Nkunku. I want Nkunku to really work out. But I'm having this honest conversation that
This
it's
is
not
the
good
equivalent.
enough.
I'm like big up to everyone that believes in religion.
Sorry,
This is
Brian,
the
one
equivalent
second.
to this is the equivalent to having someone having faith.
What do you think?
No,
Go ahead,
so
Brian.
what's the argument being made here?
No, I think overall the argument, Prime, is that essentially, even based off of this game where, cool, and Nkunku got 2 goals, it's still not good enough. This game, obviously, we all agree, like, take it with a pinch of salt. It's Noah, like, good for Mark Gui. He got his first goal. Tosin got his first goal. And we saw the debut of Raksaki, right? But, like, there are players that disappointed us during Newcastle that had to take this game and really like dominate and show that they are the good quality. And of all of them, I think Nkunku had a really poor performance despite the 2 goals.
That didn't answer my question because you guys are talking about Madueke starting And you're talking about Nkunku. What's that argument being made?
So Pedro Neto, if he goes to the right, you have Scott saying that it's Mudryk that's going to start on the left, and Ahmed thinking it should be Nkunku.
I disagree. Neither of them are going to start against Arsenal.
No.
It's going to be Madueke and Neto.
Probably will be. I
no. So the argument I was making, Premier, I was saying obviously we probably know what's going to happen most likely, but I was saying I think we all agree here that Madueke should be benched. So I'm saying to you, like, once that happens, there's going to be a space in that attack, and you're going to have to rejig who plays left wing, right wing, and then obviously maybe even possibly the camera has to be rigged, right? And so I was making the argument who comes in, and I think these guys were saying because of based on form, if you're going to go based on form, it has to be Mudryk that comes in. I was probably a bit more say in terms of like the quality that I believe they can give you, saying maybe an Nkunku or even a João Felix, if that makes sense.
I would. This may be a bit like hypocritical because it goes against what I've been saying, but I would be tempted. What
do you say?
Your face is weird, man.
My apologies.
Stop on his faces.
Actually, no. Marshall, swap him. I don't want to be next time. Swap him.
Oh my! You doing too much.
No.
You guys have to be top, bro.
Yeah,
Marshall, you in the middle though. I don't be next time.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh,
thank you. I felt better now. I felt more clean. Anyway.
Who did you say?
That is crazy.
Who?
You want to sit next to?
I feel better now.
No. Who would you say was going to start in left wing?
Oh, okay. I'm tempted on the
Against
right.
Arsenal.
Like, put Palmer on the right.
Oh,
It's crazy. Put Palmer on the right and Nkunku in the 10. I'd be tempted to just see again. I don't want Nkunku, but
I'd rather Mudryk at the 10 at this point. Like, it's just he's.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Listen, it sounds ridiculous that we're saying this about Mudryk, but that goes to show how poor Nkunku's been.
No.
Nkunku has been that poor, bro.
Yeah, he's been that bad.
Here's the thing. I don't think, aside from Palmer and Jackson, the rest of our forwards haven't been that great this season. Neto hasn't been that good this season. No one's talking about that, by the way. Everyone wants to crash.
Neto's been effective.
lately he's looking good.
Yeah.
I would say. Lately,
He's had bright moments, but he's not been.
Wait, you don't think he's been looking good, man?
Neto has not been this season. No,
He's still been better than Nkunku.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just showing how like poor our forwards have been, barring.
Oh no, I agree, but like, Prime, I agree, but like the argument for me that I would make about all this is like as bad as our forwards have been in moments, some of them, I would say that our worst performing and fuck the goals. I'm not taking 5 penalties and 5 goals against fucking the teams we played against as anything. In terms of performances, he's been our worst performing forward this season. And this is coming from someone who despises João Felix, by the way.
Are you saying Nkunku has been our worst because of expectation?
A little bit of expectation, but just in terms of like
I would say that.
everything. It's just in terms of everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit of expectation. It's a little bit of like.
I think
in terms of like actual just performances.
I think just performances, it's Felix by a mile. But if you include
That's
expectation, then it's Nkunku.
That's fair. Either way, like the worst two is like it's Felix and Nkunku, and that tells you everything. Those two should be like theoretically speaking should be nowhere near this first 11. But it may be a case of you have to play one of them. Which if that's the argument, it's Felix. As much as I hate that,
I don't think Felix is not warrant being ahead of Nkunku. No.
Based on what? I'd say based.
Doesn't rate Nkunku. Felix is not warrant being ahead of Nkunku.
But they both don't warrant a start. Let's be real. Like,
I know.
I think Felix provides the
I
dribbling
don't think
threat.
Madueke deserves to
I
start
would argue that Felix provides that direct dribbling threat, like that ability to drive through that midfield with his dribbling ability. We can question his final ball.
When is he drive?
He does that. He does that sometimes, and like that's the only thing I'll say. He does that sometimes, and that's the only thing I'll say. It's like in terms of what I expect out of a 10. Like I've seen it from Felix, I haven't seen it from Nkunku, and I'm not buying this. He hasn't played as a 10 because he had the chance today and he didn't do it.
Look, Scott, that's not true.
Felix.
Last week when Felix played as a 10.
Oh, last week he was horrible. Last week he was horrible. Like
more from Gallagher, so
yeah, no, like he was horrible. Like and I will stand by
Yeah,
that.
he
But I'm
was.
saying is we have seen it. Like we have seen it in games. We saw it against Wolves. Is what I'm
I
saying.
don't think Felix was that good today compared to last week. He was the same.
Oh no,
Wait.
Like-
You said we see it from Wolves. I've seen it from Nkunku against Bournemouth, and he saved us 3 points that game. That's more
you saw a
important.
goal.
Yeah,
You
and
saw
you saw
one
a
goal.
goal. You saw a goal against Wolves.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
you,
not what I
mate?
talked about. Again, Chris, that's not what I talked about. I didn't talk about the goal because I don't care about
He
the goal. I
didn't do
talked about
much
his
against
performance
Wolves.
in terms of what he's doing as a 10. The stuff he wasn't doing against Newcastle, which
Right.
is being able to pick the ball up from deep, be able to drive with it, be able to take out a player or two. I'm talking
Yeah.
about that stuff because that's what I expect in a 10. Like, if the way we're playing, I'm not having a 10 that is basically like Kai Havertz can't do anything but score, and even then it can't really score. I'm talking about like I need my 10 to be able to link the midfield and the attack.
And it's frustrating because I know
I
Nkunku
will
can
say,
do
yeah,
that, and I'm just
Felix
not
I
is
seeing
don't.
it.
found-
I know
I think
Marshall.
Felix-
I'll be so honest. I don't
Felix
know
is
if he
foundable.
can.
No,
I
but
think you
Scott,
also need to realize before you go.
I agree with all of this. These are the forwards that we have, so I have to pick amongst the worst ones.
That's fair. And like at the end of the day, like we're arguing between trash and garbage at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
another thing I do want to bring up. I don't want Ahmed to say what he said. Go ahead,
Yeah, like
first, Scott. Sorry.
we're arguing just like trash and garbage between Felix and Nkunku right now. Like they both suck. And like honestly, with the way both of them are performing, like I know Felix scored today, but even so, like the way they're both performing, I'd happily see both of them leave at the end of the season. But yeah, like as it's just, I don't know.
You can't
It's weird, man. Like I
necessarily
don't want
agree
to. It's so weird. Like I don't want to be too negative because we just beat Noah 8-0, but it's just like
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like just
It's
some of this.
disappointing because we expected better from certain players. That I think anyone who saw football with their eyes today could see that Nkunku was not
was
on
a
it.
ghost.
But
He
Ahmed,
was a
Oh, he was
yeah.
the worst
It was
player.
I agree.